Welcome back, folks, to Pixel TV, and your host Pigs, as usual. So today we're on a map called Bismuth Valley. It's a very known map in Bar, so it's one of the regular ones, if you like. People like to play, I would say. So let's meet the commanders. Hopefully, we'll get through them all before the owls start go running out. So uh, Isras is a Armada. Doggett is, okay, select the right one, is another Armada. Then we've got Duke of Gloat, strange name, Cortex. And then we've got President Waddle and Armada. So there doesn't seem to be any Legion today, so that's good so far. Another Cortex from X, I do call him X3 because that's just a crap fest of numbers. Springfrog is on Cortex as well. And we've got the last two of the team one, I would say. Loki V on Cortex, and we've got L4ZY on Armada. So let's try and get over there quickly. There's our starting. We got Judge on Cortex. We got Bolivia on Cortex. We've got Spacefox on Cortex. We've got Frosty on Cortex. I'm trying to do this fast. We've got Beastmaster on Cortex. There's a lot of Cortex on this map, I must admit. Armada for Lord G1. And Rogue Bash is on Armada. And finally, but not least, Acid Girls is on Cortex. Right. So let's see what we can. Ticks are coming out, which is normal. These are slightly higher plates. Some of them are a lot higher than others. Pawn against commander, not going to do much. But at least he's aware where the commander is. Which is always a good start. Don't forget there's actually lanes on here as well. If you've not seen it before. If you've not seen Bar before. Normally you have this is what happens. These go into each other. And they're set out quite well for that sort of thing in this map, which is not always the case. It can be a bit lopsided, but today it's not. So that's not too bad. I'll try and do it to not move around too much for yourselves. Sometimes I wish as a caster in that we could actually use the WASD keys to move around the map instead of having to do it with a mouse. But it is what it is. So a nice bit of attack there by who do we have? Who's the trying to Sheffield? Springs obviously they're running after him. So that was a nice bit of attack. That's got a lot of his infrastructure out. Now he's obviously coming down here to try and take some of that out. Yeah, take the commander, the command first, and then go for the, obviously. It's always better to go for things like the extractors and things like that, especially early on, than any units. Never worry about that, because if you're trying to, if you know, as like I said before, it's a line, so you're trying to take out your opposite number, and he's done some pretty well damage on that. That's going to take a while to get back going, although he has got some infrastructure here, but obviously he's got no energy whatsoever. Should probably stop that and start making some energy, to be honest, because obviously these are not going to run unless they've got energy anyway, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. I'm not too sure whether it was handed over some pawns there, but there's a little lull so far. There's a little bit of a skirmish on the top. Incisors. I thought that's what they were, but I thought I better make sure first before I look completely stupid. No more than I normally do. So he's wall gardening himself in. Oh, is that his teammate here? No, he's. Oh, okay then. Here we go. This is a classic a new person's ploy where they just wall themselves in. But he's not to know. He clearly hasn't watched a lot of Bart before. Yeah, what? I should say he hasn't watched any of mine, which is absolutely disgraceful, and I'll tell him off later. So we know there's a fighting somewhere. I know it's there somewhere. Good old Blitz. She'll do some damage. That's it. Take the constructor out. You've only got one there, so you're not going to get a lot of the wind. If it would have been a two stack, it'd have been taken one out, and they probably would have basically, you know, taken all that stack out, if you like. But it's because it's only a one line, you're not really going to do a lot. My apologies if I'm moving around. And try not to move the camera too much, because I know how some people can feel a bit queasy with it. So I'm trying to use the minimap a lot more. And not go too far. There's little scrapping all over, so it's X2, X3 is just having a little nosy around. Let's have a look at the top. So finally, the top two have decided to do something against each other after a little while. So the incisors just we're just running around here. I think he's going to go for D-gun in that. Yep. I had a fair spinning because he wasn't stopping. Nice play. Get rid of them. You cannot, if you don't know, but you can't D-gun another commander now. This has been, in the last couple of years since you've been able to do that. That was a change. It might be worth him to jump on top of that, to be honest with you. That commander's pretty low. But no cigar with that one. I think actually was doing a pounder. So the pounder will do some. It's normally a swarm unit, but it can do quite a bit of damage against the commander. If you've got a couple of them, they will do some damage. So it's a bit of a run by from Judd. He's. I mean, he should know that he's going to take this. It needs to be in here, to be honest. Get in that base. Don't worry about there. Get up there. They'll take out the extractor. That's fine. How are we doing here? Oh, little skirmishes here. Like I said, it's difficult to pinpoint what's good and bad and whatever else. It's the skirmishes all over. At least in this map, they're actually fighting each other. They're not turtling and doing nothing here, which is obviously sometimes. Although you don't tend to get that in a 8v8 very often. Beautiful D-gun. Very well done. That's what we like to see. And that was I mean, look at that. He's actually like a T1. He's a new player. So he's definitely watched some bar castings before. Or he's had a little go, because using a D-gun when you first started, it's not something you normally know about. So that's very well done. I'm very impressed with that, especially for a brand new player or newish. No, that's just a meat grinder. That is not the way to deal with them. If you're going to do that, and if you had a few more, you want to attack them from this angle, because these Rocketeers then cannot fire too well. That's the way you want to handle that. Don't go head up. Don't go like a bull in a china shop and go from here. That's the wrong way to handle them. The Rocketeers, I'll tear you apart. But again, experience tells you, and losing matches with a lot. You know, there's many a matches I've played with some of the lads from another channel, and I've had absolutely more units, and I've got them absolutely obliterated because I've ran them straight in. Experience tells. I mean, you know, I'm not a high player myself, but I do know a few things. So it's a bit stagnant again now. They've slowed themselves down. They've got themselves forward or where they want to be, and now they're just waiting for in effect, the second push. Yeah, and Rocketeers they'll take that out, or at least keep it poised, if you like. But not against the Thugs. The Thugs definitely have the upper hand there. But the Rocketeer does have the longer range as well. As you can see, a 4, 7 to 3. But there was just more ball beats less in this game. It usually happens. Right, let's have a look. So he's wall gardened himself off. Which I'm quite surprised, because he's a high player. That's very unusual. They tend to do that as high players. But it is what it is. I know there's some air somewhere. I'm trying to find the air. That's it. Bomber. T1 Bombers. Nice little player. Didn't really do much, but he did enough to ward him up, if you like. Cook's trying to get in. Not going to do much against that. You need a few more. It's the right player, though, to try and swarm him around and not like this. If you send straight in there, again, what is he going to do? He's going to degun you, or he's going to, you know, do something else. But looks like oh no, it's quite a forward T1. He's probably got one in here as well, yeah. So he's got a bot lab in there, and he's doing vehicles as well. Unusual. You normally stick on one or the other, but the only trouble is if you want to revive him, because he is Armada, you're going to need the Lazarus, so you're going to need a bot lab anyway. So that's the only complaint I have. But they've always said if you had a vehicle like a Lazarus, it would be too powerful, because then you've got options to do both. But I always assume that in reality an army would have both, but you know, I don't make the decisions of the game. I just try to cast it and play it occasionally. So the Gauntlet's going to come up. Gauntlet's got a nice bit of range. Sometimes it's questionable building a Gauntlet on the front there. It's a sinkhole of resources that you could put it in units. Maces are here, not doing much. The Pounders are ready. I reckon they're ready for a battle here. Apologies. Chavex is he's getting his butt kicked, but he's still in there. You're going to have to move, my friend. That is not the way to handle that. Them Rocketeers will... And he's got long artillery as well, so he's got some the Wumberlanes, which is quite a nice long unit to... not as nice as the T2 Quakers, by the way, but they will do some damage. It's happening all over here. This is good, because this is what we want to see. So we got the Banisher out, so one of them's definitely got the T2 coming. So this is, in a sense, the I would say the top team, or the one that's at the top, the red team, if you like. I keep forgetting to use the red and the blue. They're slightly ahead, as you can see in it. This doesn't always work for every single game I cast, but it's working today, which is good. They're slightly ahead, not a great deal. It can be brought back, but it depends on the players if they're going to fight or not. It's certainly holding their own with these Whistler that's coming out. It's certainly taking this. Like I said, I think this was a bit too far forward for my liking. Unless you can coordinate properly, you're not going to be able to stay with that. Obviously, he's got his aggregator, which is the opposite to the Gauntlet. We're still getting some more. Absolutely. T2's getting pushed here, which I'm quite surprised, against the T1. I don't understand why he's turning round. There's no way that army should lose against the T1. Not a... You know, he's got salamanders there. He's got, you know, he's got a tiger there. They should do really well. Right, let's move up the top. See what's happening here. So it looks like our Borex has pushed Judd quite far back now. So you see what I'm saying? He built all this. Now he's pushed. It's useless. So you might as well put it into army. I think that's the... You know, he should know that should have been army, not really that. Pounders are good against this. Usually you push the pounder against, let's say, pawns or things like that. He's got a decent enough army to push this back. He's now using some ticks just to swarm, that's all. And they will do that. If they can get through, though, they could do a little bit of damage. So there we go. So the commander was lost. That was Shifrock's commander was lost. Shuriken are coming out. That's a nice play. That'll EMP all these, and they'll be able to be taken out. So they might be able to get back here. Hopefully they're going to re-resurrect the commander, maybe. But we don't know. Not particularly a lot happening on this bottom. They haven't really fought each other. Now the push is happening. Push is happening with the Tigers. That's good. We'll stick on this for now. I'm just keeping an eye on just in case. Oh, he's decided. I think you need a little bit more to do the EMP on the Tigers. I think they will slow down if you can get them, but it doesn't last as long. Aggregators don't firing, I would assume. They are doing some damage. He's well fortified in here, but again, he could have had a lot more army to be able to be playing with this instead of... He hasn't really got a lot. He's got some thugs. They will get absolutely creamed if the... Well, he's got thugs as well, so it's obviously a Cortex v Cortex situation in there. Rocketeers are coming up from the President Waddle, so... It's not a bad play. I'd like to see them kite, though. The trouble is with these is you've got to kite them forward and then kite them back. And then that way, it's very difficult for the enemy to try and hit the things. Because they got a decent range, the Rocketeers, but they are prone to be, obviously, getting obliterated, which is they are now. More beats less. Again, I don't like this. They're too far. Spread them out. Get them spread them out. It'll be less prone to getting hit. Now this pounder attack will do some damage when they get these out. Again, they need to get them out and spread them out. They're too concentrated. They're easy to hit, and they need to be taking the banishers out. See, that's it. The Quaker, like I said, earlier on, the T2. It's a lot more powerful than the T1, and it's got a lovely range hit. He's only one of them, well, it's absolutely, yeah. So he has got a couple of them, but I would like to see more. I'm not a great lover of the Banisher. I know there's a lot of people do like them. To me, it's just a big unit that isn't that fast. I'd rather have some, more of the, maybe a couple more Tigers, maybe, or something like that. But each to their own. Even though this defense, as far as I'm concerned, this defense here is a bit silly. It's actually doing quite well against it. The derping around, they can't work out what to do to get around it, which usually is what happens with units like this. But it's a nice play. Like I said, I would have, if it had been, I'd have put them into units. I'm not saying I would have had not some, but I certainly would have had as many of this, because these they're only just walking through here, and actually, if you look at it, that's really bad, because they've got a straight line over there. Although I'm not too sure where they can walk over this, but anyway, I digress. So we got the aggregators, and we've still got the thugs in there. So we're still on T1 here. It's still nothing on the bottom. They've just been incredibly passive with each other. Ambassador, which is the same as the opposite to the like the missile truck. Yeah, the Cortex. Again, things at the top have really just stopped now. They're not moving forward. There's a nice push. There's a nice push in this top though. A Shuriken are out. We're going to try and disable some of the things, so that's not too bad. Although obviously Springfrog has not got a lot It needs to start. Yeah, it's Bolivia. Come on, what are you doing? If you'd have start pushing again, you'd have been perfectly fine and took out Spring Frog. Right, so this is a bit of a turtle in. There's not much happening here. Obviously, the aggravator's just blasting away. I don't know whether it's done fine. Oh, we got them all here. We've got aggravator and we've got the gauntlets. Oh, we got the. That's a nice. It's an unusual play to use the top. It's not something you see very often. I mean, he is a 3, equal to what I am, so it is something you would know, but very unusual though. Nice play though, because obviously it's very difficult to take this out. No, push your army out. It's going to get absolutely obliterated. It's too close to each other. It's going to get obliterated anyway from the that's a meat fest if I ever seen one. The only way that you're going to do that is come down here. You're going to have to come around this side and take them out that way. As otherwise, it's not going to happen. Oh, apologies to our Mr. Commander. Typical. Apologies for that. Bull. The bull is obviously coming through. So this may be the end of this sort of for our friend down here. We'll see. Acid adds girl. Jeez. Sometimes you worry about trying to cast a game that's all of these weird names. Your thing's not going to do now unless it's really ticks, my friend. So that's was a pointless way for that, but not to worry. For the I can't think what they call it now. This is going to be a hell of a meat grinder. So we've still got the pounders out. The pounders out do okay against the thug, but they're better against the pawns and the tick. Although tick they can derp around, but there's a few of them that do quite well. It's a you know, it's a definite push away. They're definitely getting themselves down. Our orange and things like that are definitely starting to move forward, but not overly. Some of the players have already gone, so we're down to 3 now. So it won't be too long before I think this team, the blue team, actually gives up. To be honest, it's certainly the Reds to lose now. So Cerberus, so he's built this on top of the Geo. And that's the most power. I mean, look there. I mean, you can see. Look how far that can fire. It's absolutely phenomenal firing. The range on it is superb. I mean, look, 1650. You think that's 3 times of the Rocketeers? It's just. It is prone to getting blown up though, but that's just the way it goes. So I'm quite surprised that they haven't finished off this lot here. Although I suppose there's not a lot, he hasn't got a lot around, but still. Let's try and focus on the action. The action's coming in here. The Shurikens are doing quite a little bit of damage here. Now they got where they're going. They won't... He's decided, right, I'll just move him back then. I thought he would have carried on forward with that, to be honest. I mean, the end is now. There's no 2 ways about it. You cannot go against 8v3. It's. You could if you were all really high T, you know, the pros, but they would take these out. But not against that sort of thing. Bullocks, giving these a good rubbing. I've got the higher ground Anakin. It's the old Star Wars meme. But it is true. But more beats less, and it will take this Bulwark out. Bulwark. Bulwark. I call it Bulwark, but it is Bulwark. My apologies. Another commander down. Is that the end of it? Yes, that's the end of it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit different to normal. At least they were pushing forward. But we'll definitely see you in the next one. Bye for now.